Welcome to the Florence Foodies podcast, a place for the community where we come together, share the stories, voices, and experiences that make Florence feel like home.
Mr. Tootie Tunes, a.k.a. Latwan Edwards by birth, on the birth certificate, Mr. 5-Star himself.
That's me.
Welcome to the Florence Foodies podcast. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm going to be a part of the Florence Foodies, you know. I'm very excited.
You're a foodie guy. You like to eat. You like to cook. I remember back in the day you making sauces in the kitchen, homemade. And
yeah, you know, my kids always said, you know, Uncle Tootie in the kitchen and he whipping, you know, seasoning the chicken. That's what I do.
Okay. So just to start off with, let's give everybody kind of a background into who you are. So you're general sales manager, right? Is that your title?
No, I'm the finance manager.
Finance manager, my bad. Finance manager.
Business manager.
Okay,
yeah.
So business manager at 5-Star Chevrolet on David H. McLeod Boulevard, which is, I have to guess, top 3 biggest. That's probably the biggest dealership in Florence, I think.
It's the best dealership in Florence, definitely. I'm not going to say we the biggest. We don't sell the most cars. I mean, Toyota is the number 1 selling brand in the world. So, I mean, we're not outselling Toyota, but I want to say Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and so, you know, we're a higher class and hold ourselves to a different caliber. So I would say we're the best, not the biggest.
So I'm going to get all into the secrets. So on this channel, this channel, the podcast, but on the YouTube channel, I, obviously as a realtor, I try to do a lot of behind the scenes real estate information to break, wrong perceptions and that kind of stuff, educate the public.
Okay.
Now that's a different field, different area, but I'm saying it's the same concept. A lot of times people are intimidated by going to the car dealership. There's a shroud of mystery around buying a car. So I'm going to put you on the spot as a, how long, you've been in there for a while now, 10 plus years?
Well, 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about a decade of experience at a high-end dealership here in Florence. What are the tricks of the trade that you would share? If you were buying a car off the street, coming to a dealership, what should people know?
For the most part, I mean, the industry itself has gotten a bad rap for real reasons. I mean, back in the day, before the internet was as accessible as it is, like, people was kind of at the mercy of whatever they were being told by the dealerships and the mechanics and things of that nature. But nowadays, the information is there. So, you know, the tricks of the trade is to just do research and look for whatever it is that you're looking for and look around to make sure that you're not being told something that's not true. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, consumers aren't as naive as they were 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, the car industry was making a lot more money selling less cars because they could sell things and do things without people knowing it. But now, you know what I mean? You can literally look and see, and the internet has taken control of a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, the main tricks of the trade, though, is to do research, look on the internet to see what is available from this place versus what this place is offering for the same type of vehicles. And then you can kind of gauge where the actual cost is and then make your decision from there.
That's kind of how I felt. So, I mean, we've done a little car shopping recently, just having to get more room, as you know.
Yeah, I did.
I
didn't get your business.
We found a sweet deal privately, but sorry about that. Maybe
I understand.
I'm still looking for that Corvette. So whenever I get ready to come pick that up, you're gonna be my first phone call. But in the meantime, these devices in our pocket, they've changed the game with everything. So I mean, you could find out what a car is worth, to your point. And so I just wanted to pick your brain on it, but that's the answer that I would have expected. And so,
I mean, the main thing is just
go in there knowing your stuff.
Look on that phone, and know. I mean, most people do. Like, most people walk in with their phone out, like, I want to see this, and you know, statistically, most people visit 5 to 6 dealerships on their phone before they actually step foot on an actual lot. So, once you come to the dealership, kind of got your mind made up, so we can.
Same thing with our business. Like when we get calls, back in the day, people had to they'd have those little magazines, and you still have them like in the grocery store.
Yeah.
But some people pick them up. But back in the day, that was the only means you had to look at houses, or you drive around and look for signs. But when people call us now, 95% of the calls I get, people are calling about a specific house or a couple of houses they've been looking at on their phone.
Which makes it easy for you. You don't have to narrow it down. They already know what they want.
Well, that's usually not, probably also 90% of the time, that's not what people end up buying. But
that is true, too.
But it at least gets the conversation going. You get an idea of what they're looking for and where their budget's at, that kind of thing. So people are doing the research at home.
Well, I mean, the card game is a funny game, but I mean, at the end of the day, everybody got to drive. So, when COVID things happen, it kind of shifts the market to where if the inventory isn't available, then you got to kind of put yourself at the mercy of who got it and then go find it. But now we're back to where the industry is back to where it was. So now you can kind of find what you're looking for. So it's back to who's got the best deal and who's got the best price and things like that. And we got the best price, just so you know. So just come and see me down at 5-star Mercedes-Benz Chevrolet BMW of Florence. And that's my plug. Now we can go from there.
So you sent me something about like 2 months. Well, it was longer than that because we were down at the beach. It was a few months ago. You sent me a song, and I want to play that real quick because it's hilarious. And I want to talk about it for a second. So we're going to play this song real quick. Latwan made this and then sent it. He actually made a few, but just for time's sake, and this was the best one, we're going to play this one. We're going to play this song real quick and let you listen to it. It's hilarious.
Walking down the streets of Florence with so much flavor in the air. Burgers, tacos, gyros, and more. Foodies, paradise everywhere. Pizza with gooey cheese and barbecue with a smoky flair. Homemade desserts, sweetened and divine, a feast beyond compare. Sammy Farr welcomes you with the ultimate food affair. Come along and taste the magic flavors that will make you swoon. From savory to sweet sensations under the Tuscan moon. Culinary delights await you from sunrise until noon. Indulge in Florence's finest from evening to afternoon. Juicy burger, the perfect blend of meat and bun. Tacos with colorful toppings, a fiesta for everyone. Gyros spinning on the grill, a Mediterranean delight so fun. Pizza with crispy crust, a slice of heaven on the run. Flavors from around the world in Florence all in one. Come along and taste the magic flavors that will make you swoon. From savory to sweet sensations under the Tuscan moon. Culinary delights await you from sunrise until noon. Indulge in Florence's finest from evening to afternoon. Flavors from around the world in Florence all in one. Come along and taste the magic flavors that will make you swoon. From savory to sweet sensations under the Tuscan moon. Culinary delights await you from sunrise until noon. Indulge in Florence's finest from evening to afternoon.
That's hilarious. So I'm gonna turn it over to you because I want you to tell them how you composed that. And if y'all don't know, just real quick, I initially met Mr. Edwards as Tootie Tunes, and he's a music producer as I first met him. And so I won't get into all of that, but there's a lot of music production in his background. And he composed that, but it was a little bit different than what I would have been accustomed to him normally doing. I'm gonna let him tell you how he did it in a minute. But the one thing I want to say is, first of all, I was rolling when you sent it. I was in Adventure at the beach with the baby and Maria, and I was like, "You got to hear this. This is hilarious." But the thing that's funny is, it thought that we were talking about Florence, Italy, because it said a Tuscan moon. But I said, if I use that in something, then I don't care because it's the same moon in Italy that it is. It's not a different moon.
Yeah,
same moon.
Sky.
How'd you make that?
I made that with AI. It is 100% AI. I didn't have to touch one instrument to create that. It was literally, this is what it sounds like. This is what I want, and this is what it spit out. And it's more of a understanding how to ask it what you want. But yeah, the music industry is in trouble. That's a whole nother conversation.
That's the first thing that I thought. Like if I was already being paid, adequate money, whatever that looks like, but a sufficient amount of money, and I was producing music as like a songwriter specifically, then I would still be incentivized and motivated because I'm getting paid. But if I was trying to break into that industry, already the moment that I heard that would have ended my aspirations. Like I would just pivot and do something different. Because
think about it. Like imagine if you were a mathematician, and we're in the Stone Age, and you're a brilliant mathematician that understands math to the greatest degrees of math being understood, and then someone invented the calculator, and your livelihood was math, and people came to you because you could solve the math problems and stuff, and now the calculator came around, and everybody already had one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they already had one, but now it's now they can use it. So it's like, what do they need you for now? Like, what are you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna need to call you to solve anything when I already got it in my pocket. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens now because it's we're at a crossroads.
It's not just music. I mean, think about people that writing a novel, writing books.
I mean, creativity in general. If it's in text so past text. I mean, it's going to be video, everything, bro. Anything that is digital is going to be able to be created from scratch and generated. Like, that's scary.
I think the only thing that it can't replicate is how we relate to each other with our personhood. So they could create a robot. I watched a movie the other night called, so sometimes, we'll sit down and watch a movie at the end of the day, and we watched one called Extinction. It's on Netflix. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
All right. And so I didn't, the plot twist got me. I didn't know what was happening. There's actually two movies that were that same type of concept, where you got people coming from Mars, which I thought was interesting with everything going on with that idea. But you had this invasion, just for the people that haven't seen it, and I'm gonna ruin it. It's a spoiler, so if you want to watch Extinction, just fast forward through this. But they had an invasion. This guy had been seeing visions of it, and his wife thought he was crazy, and was causing all kind of problems at home. And then the invasion that he was seeing happens one night. They're having a dinner party, and these beings that come are just wiping people out, like no mercy, just relentless, on-site extinction. That's why it's called that. And what you find out is that the people are actually called synthetics, and they're not people at all. They're actually AI that through the course of time took on personhood. So they figured out how to make synthetic people, like really look exactly like people and then even behave and think like people. And what happened was the synthetics ran all the real humans off the planet. What I'm saying is the one thing that even if it got to that point, which obviously that was like kind of super sci-fi way down the road type thing, but it seems possible.
I mean, that when you think about that, like, what is the line between synthetic and
but it's personhood
and biologic or whatever?
Even in the movie,
what is personhood? What is that?
So in the movie, this is the thing that I was like, see, these people, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. So if I get myself in trouble with some people, then oh well. But a lot of people are too emotional,
Yeah.
So there was a guy, popular YouTuber dude. I don't know how to say his name. Kai, the Kai St. All right, so he's real popular. So I saw a viral video and I know of who he is. I just don't, know a lot of his stuff. But I saw this video went viral, and I saw it. He's got this robot, and apparently he's been doing videos with this robot that he bought, and him and his friends were like mistreating the robot, and the robot was like basically in fear. It was trying to get away. And so a lot of people in the comments, because I'm a comment reader, I like to see what people are thinking and what's going on in the culture. I've always like done that. And people were getting real emotional. And even in that, it was the same concept of this movie. I was like, there was two sides to it. One, I think that it's good to be decent people. Like if you get your rocks off just being destructive and, whatever, I'm not going to get into all that. But I think that is not good. But at the same time, in this case, it's like, that's a robot. If he paid $40,000 for that thing and he wants to destroy it, that's his business. That's his money. He can do it if he wants. It's a robot. It's not a person. It's not an animal. It doesn't have actual life, And so in the movie, the guy, one of these aliens, you find out the aliens are humans from Mars, and they're in these weird suits, but whenever the mask gets broke, you see, oh, it's a person. That's like the climatic moment where the plot twist comes in and you realize what's going on. And he ends up being real sympathetic because he's like, this is a family that he's hunting down to kill. And he makes a statement. It's kind of the pivotal moment, the real climatic moment. He says, they didn't tell us we were going to be coming down here to kill kids. And it's like, they're not kids though. The ones on Mars, the humans, those are kids. They were birthed and they're children, through human interaction and all of that. But they're not kids. They're synthetic. They're not real. They're man-made. It's no different than your Roomba vacuum. This vacuum in your living room right now. Same thing. It just looks like a human child. And
that's everything, though. I mean, perception.
But it is. Perception is 90% of reality. But my point was, you were asking, where does the line get drawn? Here's where it gets drawn to me. When your synthetic product, even if it looks just like a human, becomes a threat and a danger to my actual human children, I have no filter or mercy for you at that point, because you're not God's creation. That's like, you're not organic is the word. Like, you're not natural. So I don't care. I don't have an emotional attachment. Now, it's easy for me to say that because I don't have a robot. This is where the problem's going to be, because you're going to get a robot in your house. It's going to do your dishes and help feed the kids and clean up all the puke everywhere, like we were talking about earlier, and clean up the dirt when the baby's eating it and all that. Yeah. And you're going to become attached to it like a family member. Real quick, last thought on that. As you know, I just bought a van, not from 5-Star, and I sold my car. All right. And when I sold it, that car was with me since 2016. One of the best investments I ever made. It was a Hyundai. I normally wouldn't buy a Hyundai. I kind of got sold on it, and it was back, and I didn't do my research, all this stuff. But it actually turned out to be great for me. Paid $15,000 for it, and it was a wonderful car. I didn't hardly put any money into it other than regular maintenance. And when I sold it, just at the beginning of this week, I almost shed a tear. I was almost emotional. Like, that car has been with me through some great times, man. Like, that car was like, it was hard to sell that car.
Yeah.
So you do become emotionally invested in these things that are not actual family members, and they're not human. They're mechanical. So I do see how it could happen, but it's like, you better be able to separate real from fake.
Have you seen the movie with J-Lo, the new one, with the AI movie? You need to watch.
What's it called?
I can't remember what it's called. It's a new movie. It's on Netflix. It won't be hard to find, but it's got J-Lo. It's her latest movie. But it's a heavy AI movie, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but she has conversations. It's like a futuristic movie, and AI runs a lot of stuff and helps people do things, but the AI is like very sophisticated. And it's like they get in these suits and have to fight things and do things with the suits, and the AI controls the suits, and they talk to the AI while they're in the suits. And she has conversations with the AI, and she's asking, like, the AI asks her, is like, what makes you think that I ain't real? Like, I have feelings and I can feel and I can do this. And he was like, you don't feel no more than I do. Like, just because I'm not a human doesn't mean that I can't, you know what I mean? And the question is then the way that it words the things that it's saying is basically like exactly what I'm talking about. Like it asks the same type of questions. Like, where does the line get drawn? Like, what makes you the end all be all on what's human or what's real and what's not? Just because, you know what I mean? And so like when it starts asking, like the way it's talking to her and the questions it starts asking her, you're like, well, what? Whenever the AI can get that sophisticated, what's the difference between AI and human? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you're AI. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're human, but you're just you're AI, and there's something more sophisticated than you.
You just blew my mind. I just realized something tragically ironic, because I was already thinking a certain path, and then when you said it, it was like that moment where it clicked together and the light went on. The question I thought you were about to ask, but the question is, the AI says, "Who made you God?" Basically, why are you God? Why do you get to say this and that? But this has been the question that millennia, not just centuries, millennia of human beings have also wrestled with, and people come to different conclusions. They handle that in different ways. But that's like the ultimate question that humanity has dealt with, and it's caused all types of thought processes, decisions, behaviors, and all of that. Some you could say is destructive, some you could say is productive. Whatever the case may be, but yet history's shown that. And wouldn't it be ironic if that's the path, we're on a collision course with that same moment, and that could be very eye-opening for a lot of people.
I mean, with the way the things that's happening right now in the world, bro, like all the discoveries and the things that are coming to the light, you know what I mean, as far as like the aliens and things of that nature is being just said, oh, yeah, by the way, we've been lying for the last 60 years and aliens is actually real. And we found some spaceships and we've been reverse engineering their technology for the last 60 years. And it's actually real. Like, and they coming up with these computer chips and the technology is jumping so fast and so exponentially, like
rapidly.
Who knows what a cell phone will be in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talking about the quantum computer chips.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard about that?
Quantum computing, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
So you're saying, we done took a leap from the most powerful computer in the world taking 10 septillion years to solve these equations, and the new quantum computer chips can solve these equations in 5 minutes. So that's a leap from last year. It take us 10 septillion years to do this thing, and now we can do it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, that's
it's
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, when you think about that, and then you fast forward 10 years to where that technology is in a phone, then what can't be solved at that point? Like, if you can solve a 10 septillion years, that's a one with 27 zeros behind it. Yeah. It said it would take the smartest supercomputer longer than the universe has been in existence to solve these equations.
It can run every possibility instantly
in the same time.
Yeah.
So it can solve anything so like, what can it solve? What can't it solve? Mm-hmm. From the worst situations to the craziest, most positive situations. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It's a scary, scary world that we living in right now, man. Like, I don't know.
So here's what we'll do for the sake of time, because there's 2 separate whole cans of worms that just opened that we could come back and talk about, and we might do that on our own some, but I think that we could do stuff like that here too. So I'm going to put that in the back pocket for now.
All right.
And we'll shift over and circle back to that at a later time.
Say less.
One thing, so I've known you, I was doing the math on it, preparing for this. I've known you for almost 20 years. It's been almost 20. It's like 17, 16, something like that.
Yeah, it's been that long?
Yeah, no, we're getting older quick, right?
Yeah.
And so I know you, but I know things that some people might not. So some people might be meeting you now. They may know who you are. They may be meeting you and say, oh, okay, well, that's the big guy at 5 Star. Everybody knows the dealership. What they might not know is that you are related to a lot of publicly public people, like well-known public people, I would say. Yeah. So I want to ask you a question. I'm going to pop quiz on you. You didn't prepare for this, and I wanted it that way. So on a scale of 1 to 10, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, well, let me start by saying this. So your wife, Lauren, is the volleyball coach at Francis Marion University.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So what I was curious about is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just some, and then 10 being like extremely, like way more. How much more athletic would you say Lauren is than you at this stage in time?
Well, if you ask her that question, she would say leaps and bounds. But on a 1 to 10, I would say the way that you worded that question, I can't even answer it because, first of all, I'm the athletic one. All right, she's a former D1, currently she's a coach. You know what I'm saying? So like athletically,
but former D1 though.
Former D1 now. I'm not former nothing. But I still, look, all right, I'm not going to play her in volleyball. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to play in volleyball, but, on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 9 and I'm a 10.
Okay, 9 times more athletic.
No,
wow.
No. On a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 9 and I'm a 10.
Oh.
All right? And that's where I'm at with that. That's where I'm at with that. I don't know how you worded. You worded that question kind of put me in the corner, But yeah, she's athletic. She's very athletic, more athletic than I am. In fact, this is a crazy story. So when we had our second son, we got 3 sons now. One's 5, 3, and almost 2. And we had the second son the week that she won the championship. So she won the conference championship for Francis Marion. She had Elijah on the Tuesday of that week. She had him on Tuesday, won the semifinal of the tournament on Thursday, won the final on Friday, and then won the championship on Saturday the same week that she had a baby.
Wow.
And nobody even, she literally was peeing on herself while they were, in the halftime. She had to run to the bathroom. Like, it was a crazy situation. Like, she didn't get the proper recognition for that. But
that's super impressive.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
My wife's 8.5 months pregnant as we speak. And that's
Now imagine her going to coach a championship tournament 2 days after she had the baby. You know what I mean? Like, and winning.
That's insane.
That
is highly impressive.
Yeah, like that was a crazy month, to say the least, that all that happened. And we should have got it should have been on the news at least, but I want to put it out there right now. Like she's
good. We get it out there right now.
She's a superwoman.
That's impressive.
She did that, yeah. But she's the volleyball coach. She's way more athletic than I am.
There we go. Truth comes out. It's all right.
I'll be real with it.
No one beats Father Time,
Yeah.
And not everyone was a D1 athlete. So
she don't want to race me, though. She don't want to race.
The other thing that's impressive, too, though, really is because we've got a house full of children as well. So, I mean, because the other thing I was going to ask about that, like I had my sons played AAU basketball last year. And so I know how travel ball is with the kids, but you've got a house full of children. She's coaching a major sport at that level. So I would imagine that, just the schedule.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy now, especially with all 3 of them. I used to enjoy the games, but now with the boys, I have to corral them because they'll be, kicking the other team and pushing the other team and the coach, running on the court while the game's going on and just, they're kids. So they can't be at the games anymore at this point because there's too many of them to watch. So it's, I'm at home watching the games now, cheering in the bedroom. But I'll cheer on however I can,
No, it's impressive, though, man. That takes a lot of commitment. That's one thing that people don't, if they haven't done it, you wouldn't realize it. But it's raising a large family while having your own endeavors and stuff is a huge commitment. So
Yeah, I mean,
hats
I don't
off to all the parents that are still pursuing their own goals and dreams and working hard and trying to provide and everything they're doing while raising kids that are running in every direction and peeing in the bed and throwing up on the floor and breaking everything and all the stuff that happens. Eating dirt. Ask me how I know all these specifics.
Yeah, all those things are all real. They all happen, you know. Everything. The nasty ones, the good ones, you know, it's life.
But it's a blessing though. I mean,
it's not enough hours in the day though. I will say that. Man.
No.
I mean, between work and kids, and I mean that's pretty much it.
Yeah, mine like to get up at the crack of dawn too.
Mm-hmm. And don't care about nothing. Just come straight in there and start the day.
Ready?
Right off the bat. There ain't
no coffee,
no
reading,
no yawning and stretching, none of that. It's straight, doom. Here we come. Mom, dad. And the dog too. Everybody wilding right off the bat.
100%. It's good to know that everybody's going through the same thing. Okay, so that's one.
Yeah.
And so then we we shift over. So I've heard is that your older brother is a gladiator in a suit. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said my older brother and not my big brother, because he's not my big brother. He's just my slightly shorter, slightly more successful older brother.
Okay.
Much more older brother.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that.
But yeah, he's a gladiator in a suit. He's the Barack Obama of the town, I would say. I mean, he's a pretty big deal. He's a lawyer and judge in town here, big practice. Came from all the bad stuff and turned it around and to all the good stuff. And now he's living his best life. Can't say nothing bad about the man. He, doing well. He actually, we're trying to do some more business ventures, and he's been getting into your line of work as well, as far as real estate and doing some things like that. But it's crazy to see where he's come from and where we are now. It's a blessing, man. We lost our parents, and they didn't get to see like what things have become for the family as of right now. And it's become a lot.
Yeah, I've never told you this, but I'll tell you this now, and I guess I never thought to, but this is a true story. And just for those that didn't catch it, Linwood Edwards is Latwan Edwards' older, not bigger, brother. And so he does have a lot of billboards in town. So it's like I said, a public figure. But I actually remember, I remember the old house, and I remember just being in there one day because we'd be over there playing fight night and stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot more confident about being able to beat him than you at that time.
Yeah,
but he was very challenging too, though.
Nobody could beat me.
But he was very challenging too, though, and so I think
he was all right.
I didn't, But anyways, so but we would be over there. But I remember, I still right now have this visual. It's imprinted in my head with this stack of study material. So it's like cards and book and all of that.
Bar at that point.
Yeah. And I remembered that. And so even up until this day, like we store things in our mental catalog, in our memory that are, they're just references that we go back to, that we can touch something that gives us a hope or an encouragement or motivation, anything like that. And that actually is one of the things in my file cabinet of seeing that. And what that did for me is just saying, listen, you can do pretty much whatever you want to do, but you've got to be willing to sacrifice and put the work in. It's a lot of work. Nobody's going to hand you anything, but if you're willing to sit down, not go out and, do whatever else you could be doing, but actually put the time and the work in, then you can accomplish great things. And so even my own little small, obviously much different, but perspective on that, and now seeing the billboards and all the stuff.
I mean,
but I got to see that though. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it from the ground up.
And that was motivational for me, you know. Even going through the real estate course, because I was getting up at like 3:00 in the morning doing my course load stuff. And Maria, you know, I think that was supernatural because I don't get up at 3 in the morning and do anything unless a baby's crying. But I was doing it. But even then, you know, a memory like that pops up and it's like you just got to stay focused.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the difference between the people that get it done and the ones that kind of don't.
Right.
You got to be willing to sacrifice, especially in day and age where we are now in life, where you ain't got time to during the day to do anything because you got to work, you got kids, you got wife, you got life. So like from 7 to 9 is already taken up. So you got to create more hours and wake up stupid early just to have
Correct.
2 hours to do something that you want to do. You know, that's the life that we got to live.
But if you want it, you got to do it.
You got to do what you got to do in order to do what you want to do. That's my philosophy.
All right, so that's 2 of 3.
Yeah, 3. Oh, yeah.
Well, I said you got some public people,
Yeah.
and very public people that you're related to. And so now your nephew is, and you got to correct me on this, was a 2-time nominated, Grammy nominated artist, musician.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. His name is Coit St. If you've heard of him, he's a rapper, songwriter, singer, actor, philanthropist, all the stuff. You know, he does it. He's big time. I mean, I think he's dropping his 4th or 5th album. Currently, he's about to drop. Maybe just dropped. I can't remember. I know he's in consideration to be getting another Grammy nomination for the Grammys this year.
Nice.
He's doing his thing, man. I mean,
That's huge. I mean, that's the highest level.
yeah. I mean, you don't get. I mean, he has been in the studio with you name them, from Stevie Wonder to Eminem. You know what I mean? Like, it don't get no bigger than what he's been doing. Like, it's the highest level. You know.
That's the kind of stuff we're doing here. Like people would know that. That's like, wow, I didn't know that I was on the dealership yesterday, the grounds. I didn't realize that I was around somebody so almost famous. Proximity. I was like, wow, that was.
Yeah, I'm almost there, you know. I chat GPT'd myself and it told me, it said, yes. I said, who is Latwan Edwards? It said, Latwan Edwards is the husband of Lauren Barfield Edwards, who is the volleyball coach at Francis Marion University. Like, I don't even have an identity. ChatGPT ain't even give me. I'm just
former D1 athlete.
Yeah, she's a former D1. I'm just a trophy husband. That's all. I'll take that role. Like,
hey, there ain't no shame in that, man.
I mean, I'm gonna do what I got to do. I guess. You know, some people be some things. Some people have to be a trophy husband. I guess I'll take it. You know.
Hey,
everybody can't wear the pink tie, you know what I mean, and make it look good.
All jokes aside, because in all reality, you have had a lot of success in your own right. So I mean, even one of your salespeople, whenever I almost bought a car from the dealership the other day, but I didn't. She was, you know, speaking super highly of you and just kind of shedding some insight into that position that you hold. So I mean, you're a big dog there up at, like I said, probably the biggest dealership in town. So, I mean, you've worked hard, though. And I'm saying that to bring it up because me and you came through some of the same channels and paths. We worked at some of the same places. You're one of the few people that I know, as a matter of fact, really, actually, if I sat here and thought hard about it, I might be able to think of 1 or 2 more. But you're the only person other than myself that I know that transitioned from the back of the house to the front of the house in restaurants. So I started out washing dishes and then I moved to serving. And I remember you being on the line at Percy's way back when. I think we were there at the same time, briefly. I think.
Yeah.
If not, you worked with a lot of the same people I did. You worked with Miles.
Yeah.
You worked with Monica. I've invited Miles on here. Miles was supposed to come on. You're actually in the spot that Miles was supposed to come on next. And I sent Miles. And yes, Miles, I'm saying this. saying this. I sent him a couple of previous episodes. He said, well, send them to me. We did a video. You know,
What's
Miles. I'm just going to say
what's
this.
Miles doing now?
Miles is over at SC Real Foods. So I did a whole video, the Miles, the chopped cheese. That's at SC Real Foods, which was your introduction to SC Real Foods. He developed that. That's one of the best sandwiches in town.
It definitely is. That sandwich, it made me a permanent fan of the restaurant.
So when we shot that video, Miles told me he didn't want to be on camera. He said he said it twice. He's like, I'm not really. So out of respect, I didn't put him on the camera. Well, after the video was over, I got a call from somebody else. They said, why did you not put Miles on the camera? And I felt bad. I was like, he said he didn't want to be on there. I didn't want to put him on the spot and make him uncomfortable. And then I invited him on here. And he keeps dodging. So, Miles, if you're listening,
Miles, stop dodging.
You got an open invitation. People, we want to hear from you.
I'm on here. You come on here, Miles. You know what I'm saying? I'm on here.
So, anyways, you worked with Miles.
Yeah.
And then we also both worked at Redbone. I was there for a little while, but you were there longer than me. I think you did it longer than I did.
I gave Redbone about 4 years.
Yeah. So, the question that I got, this is what I wanted to ask.
Long years, yeah.
I want to know what are your two favorite items from both of those places? That's what I wanted to ask. I'm gonna tell you what mine are.
Favorite items from Redbone and Percy?
Yeah, so going with Percy's first, I'll tell you mine historically was obviously the hot strips.
Mine was that steak, man. The
marinated ribeye?
Marinated ribeye. Now, I made a sandwich up at Percy's. I would destroy the fryer, but I would coat a fried chicken breast in sweet Thai chili sauce and then deep fry that. And when I say it tastes really, really good, but it messed the grease up instantly.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
Yeah, but that sandwich was the best thing that I ate at Percy's. But outside of that, what was off the menu, that Palmetto marinated ribeye was where it was at.
What was the I can't remember now. What was the chicken called with the marinated chicken breast and the ham and the cheese? It wasn't Palmetto chicken, was it?
No, it was somebody's name. I can't remember though.
Dang, how'd I forget that? That was the other thing I used to get a lot.
Yeah. It was somebody like Auntie something like that, but I can't remember.
But I would get the unmarinated breast because I like the marinated beef, the marinade on the ribeye, but I didn't really like it on the chicken that much. I know a lot of people did, but I didn't. No, that was the sandwich, the Aunt Betty's sandwich.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about there was a dinner and it had a piece of ham on it.
Oh,
I think it was Palmetto chicken.
Yes.
And I would get it with honey mustard because that honey mustard was really good too. Yeah. But I would say overall, my favorite was probably most people's favorite. I know for certain, I see this on Facebook, people trying to recreate the buffalo chicken strips. And somebody needs to go buy that building and bring Percy's back, man. Put your own twist on it like the guys are doing at Redbone. So we're about to shift over there and bring it back. And the crazy thing is those buffalo strips, they're not even that. There's nothing fancy about them. It's just butter and Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah, literally. And some garlic.
Yeah. But, okay. So what about Redbone? And I think we have the same answer, but we might not.
I mean, Redbone, obviously they was known for the shrimp and grits, but that wasn't my favorite thing.
Mine either. It's good, but no, that wasn't my favorite either.
Probably the mosaic. But adding buffalo sauce to it. That's one of the better things there. The chicken country.
There you go.
The chicken country gentleman. Yeah, that is one of the recipes I've tried to recreate, and I can't do it. I don't know.
We're gonna find out that recipe.
I know it was brandy is what
it's a brandy cream sauce. Yeah,
yeah. The brandy is what that flavor but yeah.
So me and you can't be. I hope that people hear this, and we need a revolution. I watched a guy on the internet single-handedly bring Crystal Pepsi back to the market. Like I think that we can handle bringing Chicken Country Gentleman back to Redbone. But the thing is, when it was on the menu,
see, that ain't one of those items that anybody can make though.
I know.
That's the thing about the Country Gentleman because I've had it several times and it didn't taste the same. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
what happened? This what happened, and I think I do know the story on this, at least partially. It was on the menu, and then when he changed the menu and got rid of it, because I guess it wasn't selling, me and you were the only two people buying it. Then after that happened, some of the ingredients he was buying were just for that dish. So I went back and got it a couple times as a
They
special,
start
but it wasn't the
substituting
same.
it,
It was
yeah.
okay, but it wasn't the same. And I think maybe the brandy might have. I think it was there was something in the cream sauce that he stopped buying, and I think it was the brandy. And then the other thing is the ham. The kind of ham that he was buying was specifically for that dish.
that country ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that
And the
country
ham changed too, so it just wasn't as good. But I used to always get that. And there's only one right way to get it. I don't know what you would do. Maybe you did you did it the wrong way. But I would get it with the rice. I'm pretty sure that rice came from Darlington.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the rice and the snap peas.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean,
That
that
was
was
fire.
that was the way to get it. The rice. I mean, even with the potatoes though, it was still good with mashed potatoes, and that sauce was everything. I mean, yeah. Bring
JJ,
back
if
the
you're
Chicken
listening.
Country Gentleman,
Yeah.
but we need. Is Jamie still there?
I don't know.
We need Jamie back. If Jamie ain't there.
Call Jamie or something and just we
It's
got to
crazy.
figure it
Jamie
out.
Literally lives across the street from me.
Go knock on his door.
I need to. Like when I say I can
Any
see, I
time
can
of
see
day.
his house from my
2 a.m. if need be, and say, "Listen, Jamie, this is serious."
Jamie, we need the
you to sit
country
down.
gentleman back. If it ain't on the menu, I ain't been there in a while. I gotta go back.
It's
to that.
not, but they're revamping. So I don't, they changed ownership and they're revamping the menu, and I think that relaunch is coming soon. So maybe
Okay.
Chicken Country Gentleman in its original form can make its way on there. We need to start the petition today. Probably we're running out of time because I think they're very close. So we need to see if this podcast could be the spark that could start the revolution.
Now we got to talk about Baja Joe's.
All right.
Baja Joe's. Baja Joe got it. Baja Joe's done took the staple, the stamp for the #1 restaurant in town. I'm saying it right now.
Wow.
Here on the
That's a big
Florence
statement.
Foodies. If you got a restaurant in Florence, you ain't messing with Baja Joe's. I'm gonna just throw that out there now, because that's where it's at. I mean, Baja Joe's came to town and they doing everything right. You know, that's a restaurant that I can say I went to when I'm a foodie. And going there, even when it was super slam busy, with a 30, 45-minute wait, food came out super quick. And it was hot. Everything was delicious. And we had a 5-top, and everything came out at the same time. And it was accommodating, like everything was good. And this is the 3rd time I've been there. Every time I've been there, it's been the same thing. So it wasn't a fluke. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to top Baja Joe's. I mean, from the presentation to the ambiance to the staff to the food to everything. Like and they ain't paying me. I need to pay me something because I'm just throwing it out there.
So all right, let me ask you, because I haven't been able to go yet. I have not been.
Do yourself
House full
a
of
favor.
kids. We're going Friday. So what should I get? What should we get?
I mean, I haven't the menu. That's the only problem that I got with Baja Joe's.
Menu's
is that
too
the
big.
menu is ridiculous,
That's the
right?
problem I'm having.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. But yeah, I
Right.
can't tell you yet because, I mean, I can tell you I had the steak, the filet mignon, and it was chef's kiss. It was good. With the vegetables and everything that came with it, like it was delicious. And then I got some kind of chicken, like stir fry, because I mean, it's like 4 different restaurants. So you got Mexican food, you got Thai food, you got sushi, you got steakhouse food, and then they got appetizers and did I say Mexican food too? So they got like chimichurri, like burrito, like it's a whole bunch of stuff. So I mean, I don't think you'll go wrong with whatever you pick, but you're gonna have to go there a few times before you can find what your favorite thing is, because they got a lot to choose from.
We're going Friday, so yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I want to go back. I want to get tired of that place because it's a lot, and yeah, everything is good. What's your favorite restaurant in town?
Tough to say. I mean,
Tough for me? Baja
Nah,
Joe's.
well,
Damn.
the way that I evaluate it, because I mean, there's a lot of places I would probably say I like equally, and I'm gonna ask you a question at the end of this. We've been asking everybody. The way that I evaluate it is where do I go the most? You got to follow the money. So you can say what your favorite is, but your money tells the truth. Your bank account. We go to Salsa y Limon more than any other place.
Okay.
Now it could be because we live close and it's convenient, in a lot of ways, but we really like it, or we wouldn't go. So I would have to say, if you followed my bank account, Salsa y Limon would be the answer.
Okay. Okay. But I mean, Baja Joe's or like a town hall could be your favorite restaurant without it not being like, I mean, it's pricey, so it's not going to be a place
You're not going to go there every
You're
night.
not going to go there
Right.
every night, but they can have that, can be your spot.
But that's why I have to say that, 'cause
Salsa de Limon, like that's. I mean, if that's your spot, that's your spot. I can't say.
So if we were going to
that.
go out on a dinner, so Friday we're going to go to Baja Joe's because I've been wanting to get over there. But a lot of times, if we were going to go have dinner, maybe we had a sitter, we could break away, then we would go to El Bungo Style on Celebration.
Okay.
But again, it's the same concept as Town Hall. It's not somewhere you're going to go all the time. Town Hall is really good. Victor's is really good. Like there's a handful of places that you know how it is. We don't get out of the house much. So there's a lot of places. If you said, "Hey, I'm going to buy you dinner at this place tonight in town," we'd be very happy to go. But I mean, following the bank account, Salsa y Limon. If we're picking, usually we're going to Bungo Style. But again, that's also close to the house.
And it's good.
Could be partial. Yeah,
I like that too.
yeah. Yeah, there's a
you're
lot,
not-
and now Elliot's is open too, and I haven't even I got a to-go plate Monday when they opened.
What is Elliot's?
You don't know?
I don't know. What is that?
Oh, so okay, let's go backwards. Elliot Moss is he's a local guy. He's from Florence, and he's a 2-time James Beard Award nominee. He was a lot of I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to mistell his story, but he was very much so at the forefront of a place called Buxton Hall in Asheville, which was, I'm going to say, pretty famous because, I mean, Mark Wiens is how I found Buxton Hall, and he's got like 11 million, 12 million subscribers on YouTube, big channel, goes all over the world. But he went up to Buxton Hall in Asheville. Elliot's been in some other projects. He has had other things going on too, other restaurants, but that was probably the most notable one. And like I said, 2-time James Beard nominee. So it's kind of like we were just talking about Corday with the Grammys. Like that's pretty high in the game, in the food game. He's a barbecue guy. And he ended up back in Florence. So the Elliott's just opened out at Seminar Brewing on 52. It's kind of they added on. There's a big smokehouse they built. I've never seen anything like it, really. I mean, I'm ready to get out there and see how it all functions. But yeah, it's a big smokehouse on the side of Seminar, and it's that side of the restaurant's called Elliott's.
Okay.
And they just opened. Like this is grand opening week. So it's going to be tough to compete with some of the stuff they're going to be doing if I had to guess. And the menu's going to be changing too. So he's going to have some staples, but from what I understand, there's going to be a rotation of different things. I told him, because at Buxton Hall, they had these brisket cheesesteaks, and I don't know if there are some trademark situations. I don't know the legal side, but I would imagine we can get a brisket cheesesteak going. So I'm hoping that at some point that'll be something that he'll do, but it's not on the initial menu, but he's going to be rotating things in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely want to go out there. You know where Seminar is at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elliott's is now the same thing. Seminar Elliott's.
Got it. All right.
And he's there. He's on site. And we've been out there a few times.
Lawrence, we noticed that the other day that it's changed on the outside. Got it.
Yes.
I will go check him out.
That is going to be a premier place just because, he's an accomplished chef. I mean, he's highly accomplished. So, and he's local. He's from here. So with that said, all right, so kind of, you mentioned Baja Joe's, but now a little bit different, I would imagine. I don't know, maybe it will be something at Baja Joe's, but they're kind of new. What is your favorite food item at a restaurant, not out of your own kitchen, in Florence? Pound for pound.
Pound for
You're a
pound.
boxing guy. We didn't even talk about it. That'd be a whole nother podcast sometime talk about boxing. But pound for pound, who is the pound for pound king for one item? If you mention a couple, I'm not going to be upset. But we're asking for one item in Florence. The people want to know, what does Latwan Edwards like the most as far as one item at a local restaurant in Florence? And again,
I mean, on some real, I mean, I eat lunch out every day, pretty much. The one item that, out of all the crazy things that I get a lot, the fin with the spin wrap at Apple Annie's. It's I don't even want to say what it is because I'm gonna say it wrong. But it's a fish wrap with pineapple and some other stuff in it. But it is really good, healthy, and it's one of those things that is definitely a go-to for me that I don't eat all the time, but that was the first thing that popped in my head when I just thought of one specific item that I know I love, and I'll get it 100 out of 100 times, and it's good every single time, and it's different.
That's a good answer. That's why we do this, because I've never had that. I didn't even know that it existed.
Well,
and I'm sure a lot of people
about this pod, well, not the podcast so much yet, but just the Florence Foodie group in general, and just the post and stuff. Like, you put me on to a lot of food in general that I didn't know existed, and now I go there all the time. You know, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, it is.
Get the message out.
That's what we want to see, man. We want to see the food scene grow, and then it's not going to grow if people aren't going to buy the stuff. So that's something that I'll go get. Now that you said it, I'll go at some point.
I promise you'll like it. Fin with the spin.
Okay, good answer. Cool. Well, I was glad to catch up with you because it's been a while.
Yes, sir.
So
appreciate it, man.
They wouldn't know this,
I will be back.
Yeah. I got, we've got more microphones now, so let's be creative, and we could do a lot of stuff. So,
yeah.
But that was good though. So hopefully that gives some of y'all an opportunity to get to know Latwan Edwards a little bit. Go see him down at 5 Star on David H. McLeod Boulevard. Buy a car or two. Shoot, buy 3. Whatever you need to do.
Buy 10.
Get to know a little bit more about him, and I'm sure that you'll see him again. I definitely had a good time doing this one, so it was good to catch up with you. I want to remind y'all, too, make sure that you remember that by the time this releases, there's probably going to be about 24 hours, but if you're hearing this and it's before March the 16th, then you still got a little bit of time to share this podcast or the YouTube channel that the podcast lives on. Either one's fine, with the hashtag Florence Foodie and Wine 25. I'll put it down in the description of this episode, and that will get you an entry to win $150 value, 2 tickets to the Florence Food and Wine Grand Tasting on March the 29th, that afternoon. So if you want to be entered to win those 2 tickets, it is $150 value. It's going to be a great event. Make sure that you share this podcast on any of its platforms. Doesn't matter, but make sure that you have that hashtag and it's spelled correctly, or I won't be able to find you. And with that being said, I just want to thank, again, my friend Latwan for joining us. Y'all go to 5 Star and check him out. I'm going to head over to Apple Annie's at some point here soon to check out the fin with the spin. He put me onto that, so make sure y'all check that out if you've never heard of it like me. And with that being said, as always, I appreciate y'all's viewership. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.